Revising and Editing section of the Practice Writing Star, administered March 2016. Page 10. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Claire wrote this story about a boy who overcame a fear. Read Claire's story and look for the revisions she needs to make. When you finish reading, answer the questions that follow. Now or never. Jared felt dizzy as he looked over the cliff. The ground seemed to be a long way down. His camp counselor, Andrea, smiled up at him. She gave Jared a thumbs up. Jared gulped. He still wasn't sure he could do this. All week at camp, Jared had eyed the tall cliff. He had seen other campers rappelling down the side of it. It looked so cool, but so scary at the same time. Jared wanted to do it, and it was to rappel. Now Jared was hooked up to a rope by a complicated mass of straps. He was at the top of the cliff with him, saying something about how strong the rope was. He explained that Jared didn't need to be afraid because the rope and straps would hold an elephant. Nice to know, Jared said. At the bottom of the cliff, Andrea was also connected to the rope. It was time. Now or never, Jared thought. Keeping his eyes on the counselor at the top, he slowly leaned back. He felt the strong, straight rope in his hands. Jared gripped it tightly and leaned out as far as he could stretch. Step, step, step. His feet took turns creeping down the side of the cliff. He was doing it. Jared was actually rappelling. He made his way steadily down. A grin began to spread over his face. He went faster and faster until his last step was more like a jump. Jared suddenly realized that he had made it to the bottom. His legs were still a bit shaky as he gave Andrea a high five. But Jared knew exactly what his first words would be now that he had made it down. Question 1. Claire wants to strengthen the focus of her story. Which of the following is the best replacement for sentence 10? A. Being at camp had been a wonderful experience for Jared and the other kids. B. Jared was sometimes a little afraid to do things he had never done before. C. Today was Jared's last chance to overcome his fear and give rappelling a try. D. Even though the others had been rappelling down the side of the cliff, Jared didn't want to. Question 2. You must read this one to yourself. Question 3. Which of these sentences can best follow and support sentence 15? A. She would help keep the rope tight and make sure Jared was safe coming down. B. Andrea had been such a good friend, and looking down at her right now made Jared think of all the fun they had had. C. Jared was feeling great and stepped back from the cliff to look around at all the beautiful scenery. D. Andrea was right there, connected to the rope that Jared was connected to at the bottom of the cliff. Question 4. What is the most effective way to combine sentences 24 and 25? F. Since he made his way steadily down with a grin, it began to spread over his face. G. He made his way steadily down because a grin began to spread over his face. H. As he made his way steadily down, a grin began to spread over his face. J. He made his way steadily down, a grin began to spread over his face. 5. Claire forgot to include an important detail in the last paragraph, sentences 16 through 29. With trembling legs, he took his first step. Reread the paragraph carefully. Where is the best place to insert this sentence? After sentence 19, after sentence 20 is answer choice B. C, after sentence 21. D, after sentence 26. Claire's paper ends abruptly and leaves the reader wondering what happens next. Which sentence should Claire add to the end of her paper? F, he had made it down and had actually repelled. G, where's my snack? He asked the counselors. H, he didn't have a doubt about what he wanted to say. J, can I do it again? He shouted with excitement.